tell you what, I look out here and we were remarking before we got started, I think we have enough for a full squad. We've got our coaches here. We got enough wrestlers to fill it out. We got to adjust the weight classes. Nobody's going 6 minutes. This is great. I want to start off by congratulating my fellow inductees. Just some amazing talent, amazing people. Whitey, I got to go after somebody that's done this 4 times before. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for this incredible honor. I got the call this summer and it just blew my mind. And most of all, my family, coaches, and friends, my wrestling family. Every one of you played a part in making this possible. I didn't do this alone, and tonight is a celebration for all of us. How about that? Short guy. You know, growing up, I never wanted to wrestle. I knew my uncle wrestled. My dad told me I should try to go out in middle school. I never went out. One of the problems might be is I grew up in the Everest district. My dream was to be a professional football player. That didn't work out. Thank goodness, the summer before my freshman year, we moved into the Wausau School District. The most I weighed that year was 88 pounds. I didn't go out for football, and I really had no intention to go out for any sport. Mr. Overland was my gym teacher, and we had a unit on wrestling. Bob Hyman, one of my buddies back here, he was my wrestling partner in gym. But it turns out that it came pretty naturally to me, and he encouraged me to go out for the team. I wrestled all year on a borrowed set of shoes, and I did okay on the freshman team. Most importantly, I made a number of lifelong friends that year. Many of them are here tonight. You know, if it wasn't for Mr. Overland, that unit in gym class, I'm not sure I'm standing here. Like I said, I did okay. I won more than I lost my freshman year, but I fell in love with the sport. You get to compete both as a team and as an individual. Little guys get a fair shot. You get to compete against kids of your own size. This sport can be humbling and exhilarating. When you're out on that mat, it's just you and your opponent. You don't have a teammate that can cover for your mistakes. Lack of preparation is quick to show itself. You know, when I first started wrestling, I didn't know how to approach it. I didn't know what it meant to set goals or work to achieve them. This sport taught me that. I didn't know if I would be any good, but I sure thought it might be cool to be on that board as a state qualifier one day. My sophomore year, my goal was to make varsity. That's when I met Scott Worman, who was a year behind me. Scotty flew in from Philadelphia to be here. Thank you, Scott. Well, I'll tell you this. Scott Worman had as much to do with my success as I did. That year, he wrestled me off every single week. I quickly learned if I wanted to keep my spot, I needed to work my ass off in practice. He pushed me to be better. Nothing is handed to you. That's the beauty of this sport. The wrestle-off is pure. Winner wrestles varsity. That's it. You know, junior year, he grew more than I did, so he wrestled in a weight class above me, but I couldn't have asked for a better practice partner. We used to beat the hell out of each other in practice. I got so good at takedowns and escapes because I didn't want him throwing those damn legs in. When he did, he made me pay for all those takedowns. I got a few of those too. But our practices got pretty intense. We had guys that would dread being in our group for monkey rolls or round robins. Max intensity, max effort. Hopefully we set the example for some of the other guys. You know, sophomore year, had an experience that was early in the year, weather was halfway decent, and we went on a team run. We went out a mile or so and back. You know, and some of the older guys, some of the cool kids took a shortcut, and I took a shortcut with them. And you know, I didn't really feel great about that. And that was a real turning point for me. We had a couple of really good wrestlers. We had Chicky Kaler, Dan Toivonen, Dano. They didn't take the shortcut. And at that point, I had to decide what kind of wrestler I wanted to be. Was I going to be somebody that was going to push myself, put in the work, be the best I could be, or somebody that was just satisfied being on the team? There's a quote that's resonated with me through the years: hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. I didn't cheat again. I ended my sophomore year losing in a wrestle back at sectionals. I took third. The top two go to state. The eventual state champ that year was in my bracket. Joe Rumsey from Wisconsin Rapids beat the hell out of me every single time. Pinned me every single time. Incremental goals, right? I'm going to make it to the second period this time. But I knew when I lost that wrestle back, I knew I was good enough, and I set a goal to qualify for state that next year. That summer I went to my first camp. Coach Schuler really encouraged us to go to camp. He encouraged us to wrestle in the off-season tournaments. This was way back before wrestling year-round was in vogue. I learned if you wanted to be good, it's not good enough to just roll into the season after taking a year off. A group of us voluntarily came in before the season started to get ourselves ready. We'd go running. A lot of times in the snow. Hands up, who ran the river route with me? Right? There we go. There we go. You know, junior year, I was undefeated heading into state. I had never been, even just to watch, and truth be told, it was pretty intimidating. It was in the old field house. But I made it to the finals. One of those pictures up there was me in the finals, and I made a mistake. I got pinned. Right? Everybody fails at something. Failing in front of 10,000 people is hard. It's hard. But life is hard sometimes. Life doesn't always go the way you think. So what do you do with that? You wallow in self-pity, or you get up off the mat, dust yourself off, and rededicate yourself to do better? Which is what I did. I immediately knew after I lost that match that I was going to come back my senior year and win that whole damn thing. So senior year again, I was undefeated heading into state. This time I knew what to expect. I had been there, I'd done that. I was jacked up. I was jacked up for that. You know, many of you may not have ever been down to Madison for the finals, but this was in the old field house. 10,000 people, just packed, right? They march you out, they line you up. 103 to heavyweight. On either side of the mat, the lights go down. These are the big old fluorescents. They turn them back on. They're just humming, right? People screaming. They march you down. You cross your opponent. You come back. 103 pounds. You get to go first. It's electric, baby. I can go right now. I'm telling you, this is good stuff. You know, when I'm really jacked up and ready to go, my back leg's just a bouncing. A lot of RPMs. You know, shake hands, whistle blows, boom, shoot in, take him down, boom, right to his back. I didn't pin him, but that's how you start. I ended up winning 14-5. He got 2 points, I don't know, about 15 seconds left. He got a reversal. I stalled like a mother. Just hang on, don't go to your bed. That's strategic. I remember after winning, running around in circles with my fingers in the air, pointing up at my family and my friends. You know what was going through my mind is, we did it. We did it. I jumped up in Coach's arms. What was even better was the medal stand. He was president of the Coaches Association that year. He got to hand me my bracket, my medal. Even got a quick hug. He's not a big hugger. Probably one of the top 5 moments of my life. Right, I got married. My beautiful wife, Kim. My oldest son, Bryce, was born. My youngest son, Brady, was born. Yeah, that's 4. You know, I have so many family, friends, and teammates that have been in my corner, not just in wrestling, but in life. So much goes on outside the practice room and on the mat that shape an athlete's career and the person they become. You all, or I'm from the South now, so it's y'all, played a part in mine, and tonight is as much about you as it is about me. Many of my teammates and closest friends are here tonight. On the video of my state finals match, you can hear the chant, "Go, Stock, go! Go, Stock, go!" over that crowd. Thank you for coming out to cheer me on one more time. Unfortunately, I can't mention everyone here tonight, but I do need to mention some. My dad, he didn't miss a match. He never played sports, but was always there to support me. We went to Sam's Pizza every Thursday after a home meet. That was a big deal, and it meant a lot. You were always there for me. I had Sam's today for lunch. My mom came to one meet, and it turned her inside out to watch. But she was always there for so many other ways. I can never repay you, Mom. I will say she's figured out how to deal with those knots. Has been a frequent cheerleader for my boys and my nephew during their wrestling meets. My sister Becky, she was our team manager and a damn good one. She videotaped, kept stats, all the little things that go unnoticed. We didn't always get along at home, but she was always there cheering me on. My wife Kim is a Green Bay girl. I didn't meet her until college, so she never got to see me compete. I'll take that back. She saw me once. When I turned 45, I wrestled in an old-timers tournament. The next oldest guy was 10 years younger than me, and that was a bad idea. But both my boys are wrestlers, and she's learned what it means to be a wrestling mom, and has really learned to love the sport. She's so supportive, and we're all lucky to have you in our corner. My boys, Bryce and Brady, both are bigger than me. Doesn't take much. When they decided to wrestle when they were young, it really reinvigorated my love for the sport, and I was lucky enough to be able to coach them in their youth and their middle school programs. Just know that I never expect you to replicate or surpass my accomplishments. You don't have to be the best. I just want you to be the best you can be in sports and in life, and I'm proud of you. My Uncle Butch, Clarence Felch, he wrestled for Wausau High in the 60s. He'd never brag about himself, so I'm going to do it a little bit for him. He was a two-time state qualifier in 66 and 67. I tell you what, if you wouldn't have hurt his shoulder heading into the state tourney his senior year, he might have been our first state champ instead of me, who knows. The whole Schuler family has always been some of my biggest supporters. As I became a wrestling parent, I gained so much appreciation for how real that wrestling family is. You can't help it when you spend that amount of time with someone in the bleachers. I also have some insight into what goes on once the athletes are asleep. My teammates, boy, we had some good times. The hours we spent in the practice room, going to off-season tourneys and camps, they always kept me grounded. Thank you, guys. My coaches, I had a great group of coaches. They all brought something different to the table, and I didn't realize it at the time, but the lessons I learned while competing would be lifelong lessons. I'd like to think I incorporated something from each of them. Spud and Iron Mike, always there to encourage me, always positive. From Spud lugging us around in the Spudmobile to the freshman tournaments, to Iron Mike, saw the picture sitting in my corner in the state finals. You guys mean the world to me. Robin Morris is here, the enforcer. That's where I learned a little bit about intensity, never be satisfied, details matter. He used to prowl the practice room like a caged tiger. You want to see a tough guy, go on to YouTube, 1978 state finals, and watch Robin Morris wrestle. It's not okay to half-ass your practice. You compete the way you practice. He used to say, for every minute on the mat, you have to train for 10,000 minutes. He stole that from Rocky or something, I don't know. But I believed him. I believed him. Pain is a great motivator. When you run that crossface, you run it hard. He taught me how preparation breeds confidence. I needed that as a young wrestler. Thanks, Robin. Coach Schuler, I couldn't have asked for a better coach. At a time in my life when I needed direction, a purpose, he was there. One thing I learned from him and tried to emulate when I was coaching was that every kid responds differently. Some needed a kick in the butt, some needed a pat on the back. I needed both. He knew how to get the best out of me. He taught me about responsibility and accountability. Sophomore year, one time, I was going to go to a rap concert with some buddies, and it just happened to be that was on a night we had to wrestle. So my mom said I could go, I just needed to, tell the coach myself. So I'm, okay, I'll do that. Well, working in my head, here's what I'm going to say, here's what he's going to say, and here's what I'm going to say. So I, walk in. Those of you that know Coach Schuler know he's a man of few words. And I said, Coach, I can't wrestle. I'm going to a concert with my friends. And he got his point across with 3. No, you're not. I wrestled. He used techniques that are pretty commonplace today. We had all of our matches taped and we reviewed them every week. Looked at not only what we did well, but what we could have done better. I learned about how the little things matter. You can't beat the good guys being sloppy. I learned a lot about the intricacies of the sport watching tape one-on-one with my coach. He helped me develop my mental approach to the sport, which is just as, if not more powerful than the physical approach. In my mind, I was always up 5-0 before I stepped on the mat. I knew I was getting that first takedown. I knew when I chose bottom, I was getting out, and I knew I was going to take him down again. So anybody that I wrestled had to score at least 6 points on me if they had a chance. He taught me to believe in myself. He knew how to push me to be the best I could be. I would have done anything to make him proud. I hope I did that. Thank you. So I want to close again by thanking everyone that had a part in making tonight possible and allowing me to take a walk down memory lane. It's a great day to be a lumberjack. Thank you.